There was a spouses luncheon, and I wrote a letter because I wanted to recognize the entire team that had to go through not just what occurred during the war, but also everything that happened afterward. Your spouses who carried you through all the different aspects of your life. Now, for Spencer specifically, there's a couple of things that I do want to know. So, we've been having a lot of problems with veterans recently. People will always talk about, 22 a day. This is something that Kelly's very involved in, which is, a mental health crisis that we face with veterans, especially those that were in Afghanistan and Iraq, of which I'm one. So a question was asked amongst my peers, people I served with when I was in Afghanistan, which was, what do we do? We're reaching the 10-year anniversary. 2012 was my first deployment into Afghanistan, and we lost some guys. It was the 10-year anniversary, and he said, what do we do? We have a lot of problems, we haven't talked to each other. And I said, we need to have a reunion. We just watched the drawdown in Afghanistan. Yeah, beat me.
They're rough.
I get it. That's the only thing I can say to y'all is I get it, but I still don't get it.
Amen.
We had a reunion, a 10-year reunion, because Spencer Gardner has a reunion. And I said, you know what, I've seen some things. Every single one of the gentlemen that showed up to our reunion said it was the best thing that's happened to them in a long time. I will genuinely say that we may have even saved some lives. We're all talking to each other again. We're healing. Last night, getting a little more intoxicated than is probably appropriate.
Yeah.
I had a
You're with aviators.
conversation with Mr. Gardner here, the gentleman who brings you all together every single year and puts forward his family, his time, his effort, as he always has, like a good non-commissioned officer. And we were having a good time, razzing on each other about who was better, who was worse as NCOs. We were both senior NCOs. And he had a worse time coming home. And he told me a story about all the people that thanked him for his service. And he rightfully said one of the things that was different between him and I, and he's right, is I got thanked for my service when I came home, and he didn't. I remember that story about 20 minutes ago, walking out to smoke a cigarette. There was a gentleman wearing a nice leather vest with a bunch of patches on it. And I knew that that had to have been one of the other gentlemen that was here either for the Navy or the Air Force. Well, I offered to buy him a beer, but he doesn't drink. I offered to pay for his nachos, but he already paid for them. So instead, first of all, I said, I'm not a regular civilian, so don't get mad. I want to thank you for everything you did. I want to thank you for the Army and the Air Force that you built for myself and my peers. And I said, but most of all, I want to say that I'm sorry for how you were treated when you came home. And that's what you said last night. And he gave me this coin. This is not my coin. This is your coin.
Yes.